Step into a world of romance and mystery with Tamora Rose. Today we're reading part 1 of chapter 19 of Child of the Wind. The heat swirled around her, urging her to relax. Because she was tired and just a little stressed, Canace took advantage of the invitation and didn't even bother to wash. Doing so would have meant opening her eyes and moving her arms, neither of which she was interested in doing right now. Maybe later. Maybe later. The water moved suddenly, sloshing against her body and causing her eyes to snap open. There, right before her, was Jett. He was up to his chest in hot water just as she was. He'd invaded her bath. Her breath caught at such audacity. "What are you doing here?" she snapped as she grabbed a sponge and held it to her bosom as if it would protect her from his scrutiny. "Bathing," Jett answered with a wide grin. "I've been repairing a wall for the better part of an hour. I'm filthy." An hour? Her nudity forgotten, Canace glanced out the high window. "Have I been in here for that long?" Apparently, his hands reached for her. But she saw him coming and glided away. The tub was large enough for a dozen sizable men. She could certainly keep her distance. "Come here, lovely," he coaxed. "You shouldn't be here." Her voice rose just a little. "What if Dolly were to find you here?" "I've already dismissed her for the evening." The horror on her face drew a chuckle from his lips. "Do you really think she'd be all that shocked? She knows we spent last night together." Canace gasped. "She does not." "She does. Now come here." Still stubborn, she shook her head. With a shrug, he went after her. He was so fast she had only time to squeal before he had caught her in his arms. Though she struggled against him, he kissed her, letting his tongue play with hers. She groaned before relaxing against him. "We shouldn't be doing this," she whispered between kisses. "I know." Jett leaned back against the side of the tub, lifting her so that she straddled him. He groaned long and loud. So did she. Try as she might, Canace couldn't deny the attraction. She loved the feel of his arms around her, reveled in his hands upon her body. But this was wrong. "No," she gasped. "We can't." "Why not?" he asked against her ear. "You'll still be a virgin. I promise." And he was a man of his word. That wasn't the point. "We're not married yet." That was the point. "And you want to be married." There was resignation in his voice. "Don't all girls want that?" They did, but that didn't make him happy about it. He supposed he was merely putting off the inevitable. At some point, he'd have to marry her. They could play, and he could even claim her virginity if he wanted. But if he wanted Barsland, he'd have to marry her. And he did want Barsland. Now that he'd toured the estate and even helped set it to rights again, he wanted it. There was still much to be done, of course, but he was actually looking forward to that. To mold the estate into something he was proud of. There was a lot to be said for that. Becoming Earl of Barsland was tempting, and was more than he would have had if he'd married Tilda. But could he reconcile himself to an arranged marriage? While he thought about it, he picked up a sponge, found the sweet-smelling soap, and lathered up the woman who would be his wife. She watched him warily and squirmed beneath his touch, but she didn't object. Who wouldn't want to marry her? She was young, lovely, passionate, and incredibly rich. If she whined a little too often and had an obsession with animals, well, he could correct those flaws. And perhaps she wasn't a trained chatelaine, but she had a good heart and a decent head on her shoulders. She could learn, especially if he hired the right woman to play that role for now. Or maybe he'd just fill her belly with children for the next 10 years to keep her out of trouble. Either way, he'd enjoy himself. By now she was clean and soft and supple under his eager hands. Jett, still aroused, smiled tightly. "Wash me," he instructed. Golden eyes hazy, she smiled up at him. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this chapter, stay tuned for more tales of romance. Until we meet again, may your days be filled with passion and just a touch of magic.